The month of May puts Indiana on the national map. The center of the racing world gravitates to the Hoosier state.
So true, and in the heart of racing country, right in the Wabash Valley, sits a legendary track. In this week's Matt's Moments, Matt Gregory brings you to the Terre Haute Action Track, the raceway that builds legends.
In most sports, like basketball or football, the venues will change, but the dimensions of the field remain the same. In racing, every track is different, and if you ask drivers, they'll say that each track is an active character in their careers. This dirt where dreams are made, the turn where legends are born.
Terre Haute is the action track. I mean, it's the most famous racetrack in the United States. Legendary drivers like A.J. Foyt, Mario Andretti, the great ones that went on to win the Indy 500. This is where they started, this is where they ran.
Year in and year out, the heroes change, but the story remains the same. I'll introduce you to driver Chase Stockin of Sullivan, Indiana.
My dad and my sister, she raced too, prior to me starting, and that's what we was always messing around with those tires, just whatever we can get a wrench on, and when we wasn't doing that, we was outside playing in the dirt. Actually, that was my first sprint car race was here, and that was a big step at 15 years old to jump into something with this much horsepower and come here.
These days, Chase still plays in the dirt, but he's carving a career out of these tracks.
Oh, there's been a lot of good finishes, and I don't even know what our feature win sprint car total's up to now, but won 3 USAC national races so far, here in the last, 3 years.
But maybe none of those wins compare to one finish he had here at the action track.
A few years ago here, we ran against Tony Stewart, and I don't know, we didn't have very many cars that night.
On this course where heroes are made, it's perhaps fitting that on the way to writing his own story, Chase had to race toe-to-toe with a legend of the action track.
He got in Levi Jones's backup car that night. That's who was driving for him, and that was pretty cool because that night, even though you hadn't ran an all-wing sprint car, I don't know how many years, we still outran him that night.
Maybe the next big name in racing will be this Stockin from Sullivan. But then again, inside the track where dreams are made, it could be one of these kids playing in the dirt on race night. At the action track with photojournalist Gary Bryan, Matt Gregory, News 10.
I'll tell you what, Patrice, I've been out there many times, and I'll tell you, anyone that goes out there for the first time, they say they get hooked.
Oh, I imagine. The other night when they were racing, it was kind of iffy on weather,
Right.
but